Voila! I don't want to grab your stanchions in case
Good idea, not just for our safety but yours.
No, I wasn't worried about myself.
After a night in an extra rolly anchorage and a quick refuel in Roccella Ionica, we set off towards Crotone to meet up with our friend Susan, a solo sailor who lives on a 26-foot sailboat in the Mediterranean. We also got a med reality check.
Will you kindly give us a summary of the past hour or so?
We had some pretty nice wind for about 5 minutes. Then it got really strong, so we reefed the main. Then it died almost straight away. And then we motored for most of the last hour. And then we had some more nice wind. And then it got too strong and we reefed the main. And now it's died and we're motoring.
It was a slow morning, but we finally got some wind in the afternoon. We've been doing watches this afternoon. Ryan's been down below for a nap and I've just been in control of the boat. All that happened was a wind change, so I just had to move the main onto the other side of the boat, and then I got the Yankee out, but it's not setting very well. There's not much wind, but we are expecting more wind in a bit and it could get quite hectic, I think, but it is really lovely. And yeah, it's a really nice evening after a very grey afternoon.
In the cold kitchen light, we both look for a sign. And you say these are troubles of mine.
After dark, we got to use our radar for the first time to avoid some oil rigs. We arrived at the anchorage around 1 AM and enjoyed a calm, restful night.
Yay, friend! Our friend Susan has arrived on Isean. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly again. Sorry, Susan. But yeah, she's come over around from another anchorage, and hopefully soon we can offer her a cup of tea.
It's very lazy. Well, it's not a Sunday, is it? I've got a lazy Sunday feeling.
Like a bit of a
Well, it's Friday, right?
Friday! It's party day!
Yeah. Party on Skua.
Voila! Yeah!
board. I'll hold the leather.
We don't have to be jail. I don't want to grab your stanchions in case
Good idea, not just for our safety but yours.
No, I wasn't worried about myself.
So this is Susan, and she's a solo sailor who we have met before in Sardinia, and we catched up with her again just now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you're up to?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm up to. I left Britain the same time as you guys. We worked out I left my job 2 years ago this month to sail around Britain, and got stuck in terrible weather in Penzance in August and ended up turning left, sailing across the channel, going to Portugal, and we've kind of weirdly sort of like shadowed each other a little bit because we've done the same sort of time and same route. Came into the Med last spring. We met in Sardinia.
Yeah, I don't know how we didn't meet before then, but
Yeah.
yeah. And you sail solo on what kind of boat?
Nicholson 26. Can you see it?
Well, not on this lens probably. We'll take some shots of it though.
Yeah.
She's very basic. It's very simple. I don't really have very much stuff. I don't even have a fridge. So it's a bit like, slightly more like camping than most people's cruising experience, I think. But yeah, it's great fun.
Keeping things simple.
Yeah.
And you go with the flow a lot, like, as you say, you don't know what you're doing.
No, I'm meant to be sailing around Britain and here I am in Crotone. So I'm kind of, yeah, I don't know, I'm sort of, I left my job, got a bit of redundancy and doing a little bit of work and just kind of enjoying the experience of sailing and see where it takes me. I think Greece and then, I don't know, I've no idea.
We'll see. And what's it like to sail solo as a woman in Europe?
Well, it varies. I mean, the one thing that's quite constant is that you get a lot of attention. Sometimes that's great. I mean, you get a lot of help. I mean, I think that happens a lot at sea anyway. We're all quite kind of helpful with each other. Sometimes it can be... Sometimes, like, I don't know, you get a lot of men that are kind of a little bit overprotective and maybe help you when you don't need help or kind of like invite themselves onto your boat. And
Without permission?
yeah, and just people that don't understand that you're a woman alone, you know, I kind of have this, where's the man? Have you got a man down there? Where's the captain? And it's kind of, it's quite funny at first, but then it gets a bit wearing and it's... I don't know, I think I've had more positive experiences from it than negative probably because I've had a lot of help and a lot of welcomes and I've met like in Brittany particularly when I first crossed the channel I met some man in the middle of the sea on his sailing dinghy and he came up and shook my hand. He was like, "Solo, you're alone," and then by the time I got into port he'd like phoned his wife and said, "You're invited to dinner," and came round and swept me up and took me home to meet his wife. And I've had a lot of experiences like that where people are just so they're so surprised and then they're just quite protective and really helpful. And
With a small boat you manage to get away with things a little bit more so you can get into harbours or...
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, just the physical size is kind of good for sneaking into small spaces, so I kind of feel a little bit like feel like slightly incognito, can kind of just get into places that I wouldn't otherwise, but I kind of like that it's humble.
And people are impressed you sailed all that way on such a small boat, like...
Yeah, people are surprised, and then, yeah, generally it kind of goes like, "Solo," and then it's been really funny in South Italy because they've just kind of, one person will find out and then they'll sort of parade me around and they'll like take me, like someone drove me to a restaurant and went into the restaurant and told everyone, "Solo, barca, solo, velo, barca, solo," and everyone was like, "Oh, bravo, bravo." And it's just like, it's really sweet and really strange. It's great. I think I really wouldn't change it. I never planned to go sailing solo. It's not like, it wasn't like I kind of wanted to do it as a challenge or sort of wanted to prove something to myself. I kind of did it because I got tired of waiting on friends to come sailing with me. Like when I broke up with my partner, we used to sail together and then I was like, oh, I need to find friends to sail with me, and then people let you down, and I thought, I want to go sailing, you know, so it wasn't a plan, but I'm kind of really glad that I've done it because it's a whole different experience.
It's so brave. I mean, like, we discuss it with, like, Ryan and I sometimes are like, oh, I couldn't do this on my own, like, what would I do now, like, I'm so down, and, like, I've got you here, at least, like, we have each other sort of thing, and, like, yeah, it's just total admiration for you doing it on your own.
You would be, like, completely fine. You'd be so surprised.
Don't tell her that.
You need him. He gets the tune. No, but you know, people are amazing. We're so adaptable, and I was so, like, I was scared of going out. You know, you get used to things, and like you surprise yourself at what you can face and what you can deal with, and and how fast you learn. And it's like anything. Humans, like, we just, faced with any situation, we just get on with it, you know? Like, you have to, and you don't think you can do things, but you can. I've been really surprised because I'm not practical. I'm quite lazy in a lot of ways. I'm not very, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm just a bit rubbish. I'm a bit rubbish at you know, like, I should learn more about mention. I should learn more about everything. And I kind of, if I'd thought I'd do something like this, I would have been like, no way, I'd never manage to do it. But then when you just, it's that thing, probably you had the same thing when you don't sort of imagine that you'll sail to Greece, but you sort of think, well, I'll sail here, and you do it day by day, and you build it up bit by bit. And before you know it, you've kind of done 1,000 miles, and you're like, oh, I didn't think could have done that. And it's not as hard as you think. It's not as, you know, it's kind of, yeah, you'd be fine.
Would you ever go back to like just normal life on land and with a job and everything else?
I can't imagine doing it. I can't, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, as we established, but I kind of think the closest I can imagine to getting back to any sort of, the closest to sort of normal life is sometimes I think, well, maybe I'll get to a point where I have the boat somewhere, and then maybe I'll go and do some work for a few months in the winter and spend some of the time on the boat, and then go off and work somewhere else in the world if I'm going off writing or, you know, whatever, well, most likely doing some journalism somewhere, and then come back and have the boat, you know, like, probably if it was in the Meds, then sail in the summer, and sort of, because it is tiny, you know, like the way I'm doing this is a bit mad. Like, people are just like, you live on like this tiny boat, because it is small, it's very basic, it's kind of, it's not, you know, it's not a massively comfortable way to do it. I don't have a fridge. Like, I will upgrade it this summer, and but, you know, it's kind of, but in saying that, I am ridiculously happy given that I've got nothing, and I kind of like that, you know, I've got nothing to break, and that things are really simple and basic, and, you know, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine going back to 9 to 5 for sure. I won't do that.
Cool.
Are you still filming?
Well, now.
Oh, no.
But thank you so much for like hanging out with us and getting on our YouTube videos. It's been really nice. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting our production on Patreon. Catch us next time for a stunning sail to Greece.